Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Last time, we got thrown by a barrier. Got bumped by a big bubble. Where the fuck are we, Barts? Oh, okay, so... I guess Galuf does know his planet very well, because he just instantly knows by this generic field with a big hill on it exactly what the location is.
That's so fucking wild. That's like being thrown to a hilly location. It's like being thrown to the top of a plateau and going, oh my god, we're in Utah.
Damn it, I wasn't supposed to be back here again.
Galuf is his world's #1 player in GeoGuessr.
Just fucking 360 no-scopes all of the locations. Alright, well, I guess fittingly enough, today Galuf is gonna be a Geomancer. Have not used Geomancer yet because it's a bit of a weird class, but whatever. Gotta give it to him at some point. It's not like it's not useful. I've got Red Mage Barts because, hoo boy, does Barts need a lot of experience to actually get to level 2. Red Mage is perhaps one of the thirstiest classes in the game for ABP. Alright, and Summoner because we could really use level 3 of this, and let's just have a 3rd level ready for Summoner for when we really need it. Alright, so, once again, we are in some end of the world without any really good idea of how we're going to get back to where we're supposed to be, so flashbacks to post-ship graveyard. Anyway, here's this guy. He tunnels. Bella's ass. I do love the Blitz Whip for that reason. Alright, I'm gonna whip you, and then Zeus himself will smite your ass. Alright, so as always, nothing too bad out here so far. We got Tunnelers, we've got Mandrakes, and Devourers. Just big ol' land squids.
The lesser-known corollary to the land shark.
Usually you only see a squid on land when it's dead, so this is highly unusual. Alright, so yeah, as I said, Geomancer, weird class, not useless, just weird. So yeah, enemies aren't too tough because, you know, there is the distinct possibility that, you know, you could be kinda weak after everything, and you're not close to a village until now, so they don't want you to die horribly on the way there. Let's see, we've also got a bunch of new spells. A lot of which I'm not really going to use, though Comet, Sloga, and Return are really good.
Hey, do you think any future Final Fantasy games are going to have Bio as a spell anymore? Or do you think that's maybe a little in poor taste?
I mean, I mostly just don't know because I don't know the general vibes of Final Fantasies anymore. I've seen like, I don't know, 10 minutes of 16. I don't really know what that's about or how many of the usual spells get in. But, maybe Bio is in there, maybe it isn't, I have no clue. Also, they hired a little girl to just tell you which side of the story you're on. In case you forget. Look, that's just one of their daughters. She wants to be helpful, so she's here to tell you which story you're in. I guess they could also both be your dad. Damn, those shopkeepers are gay, good for them, etc. Alright, so, amongst the spells we got... Oh yeah, we can talk to this little girl. She wonders where her ribbon has gone. Garfield! But anyway... I think of all of them... well, I don't know, it's hard to decide which of the time magics we got is better. because Sloga is just slow, but you hit all enemies with it, so, you know, that's just a more efficient use of your time. But Comet is an attacking spell, and it actually does some pretty good damage, so, like, that's just good for Time Mage. But yeah, other than that, we got some, weird white magics and black magics. Bio is a powerful spell that's non-elemental. It is sometimes also the poison spell, I think. Bio and poison are always the weird spells, and I can never remember how they work because it feels like they work differently in every game. Oh. Oh, this guy wants us to dance for him, huh? Well, it just so happens Gallop is trained as a dancer, so check this shit out. Here he goes. I mean, with moves like that, I can see why enemies get charmed by him all the time. We get 100 gil for the performance. If you want a money grind, you can just do that a bunch of times.
I thought he was gonna ask us to leave.
Please, never dance again! Alright, hey, you hid the piano! How dare you! Trying to hide the piano from us, well, Ferris isn't going to let that happen. We are getting ever better. They tried to stop us, but they couldn't. Galuf, why do the people of your world want to hide the pianos? That seems so weird. Better not get too close to that castle down south, or you'll die. You'll just instantly drop dead if you get near the castle. Thankfully, this isn't Final Fantasy III, so that doesn't happen. You don't just go to a spot in the world map and it's like, hey, did you pay attention to what those villagers were saying? Probably not, because now you're dead. Oh man, but we're supposed to stay away from the castle, but it's got legendary weapons sealed in it. You're basically asking me to go there. Anyway, if you go to the inn, it's actually a free visit. I mean, that doesn't seem like great business if you never get customers, and then the first ones that come in, you're like, you know what? I am so tired of not having customers. Just stay for free, please. But of course, that does mean that there's a cutscene we have to find. Galuf sneaks off in the middle of the night. As does the owner, he just left immediately. He was just too excited about the prospect of customers. Oh, wait a minute, he's in the pub, isn't he? Will say, I really do just love the vibe of this cutscene, just the middle of the night, Galuf just goes off for a drink, and then Bart's, always the insomniac, just kind of follows him. Yeah, so I'm also fond of this cutscene for, you know, the actual meat of it. Like, we think we've messed up by coming in, allowing Exdeath to capture us, and that ruined everything, but like, Exdeath does just have a big invincible barrier, so Galuf actually would have died if we hadn't done that. Like, we just got tossed halfway across the world because we were in contact with the end of the barrier, so yeah, being in the middle of that wouldn't have been great. Also, real quick, since we're in the cutscene where Galloff's just drinking in the middle of the night, I forget which episode it was, but at one point, we mentioned characters vis-a-vis wondering if they're able to drink. So, real quick, I brought up wikis, which I trust enough at least to have that accurate information. Bart's is 20, which means technically he would actually be of age to drink if he wasn't in America, which, you know,
I say most parts of the
Japanese-made
world.
game. Yeah.
He's fine.
Same for Lena, she's 19, and I think drinking's usually 18 elsewhere, right?
Yeah. Although in Japan it's 20 apparently.
Oh, okay, so Lena's just barely too young. And Ferris is also 20, so honestly, kind of a mixed bag overall, vis-a-vis whether or not they could drink, but all that it is to say, Bart's probably would have just been able to just, you know, jump into a seat, also have a drink.
Also, I know it's not really necessary for the drinking conversation. I am curious how old Galoof is supposed to be.
Let's see, 60.
You know? That's actually a little old.
I know, right? He's not just like, I don't know, 35, 40.
Yeah, I was expecting like 40s or 50s. Which 50s I think is around what he's written to be. Maybe late 40s. Well, he has a granddaughter, so probably like not probably mid to late 50s. You know, if he's 60, it's fucking wild that, like, he's the heaviest hitter on the team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, he was a Dawn Warrior, and he keeps in shape. He didn't let getting hit by amnesia slow him down. I guess I am just specifically doing a run where the characters you'd less expect to be the strongest ones are. Because most people probably just are just like, oh, Lena, she's a mage. But I'm just like, no, girl in heavy armor. Anyway, here's the shield dragon. This is the reason that people warn you to stay away from this castle, because shield dragon is here to kick the shit out of you. However, he is not too difficult for me to take on. It is entirely possible to fight this guy without dying, and he's worth some pretty decent ABP. Bit of an MP drain, though. So yeah, Knock Silly there is a move that does a decent amount of damage and confuses you, which isn't great. It also will counter with Knock Silly if you physically attack it. It also has basically all of the barriers, including Reflect, so you might be wondering, hey, why am I able to use Comet? That's an easy one. Comet doesn't care about Reflect. So we'll have to remember that if enemies ever have the Comet spell, because that's bad for us. However, we are free to just pelt this guy with space debris. As long as we don't use basic-ass magic against him, we're fine. Aw, no, we can't use Sonic Boom.
I'm sure the space debris is helping, but I can't help but notice that Blaze is doing 10 times the damage you are.
Oh yeah, Blaze will kill the shit out of you. So, because you can control this enemy, you can make him do good damage against himself. And again, that won't reflect, because it ignores Reflect. Blue magic is also much the same way for the most part. I want to say like the wind spells will get reflected, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I did not try because I wanted to play it safe. Again, Shield Dragon is here to kill you. I just have a whole lot of measures in place to prevent that from happening.
I forget, what class lets you control monsters? Is it Ranger?
No, that is Beastmaster.
Okay. Sorry, I've been playing Dragon Quest VII. That also has an extensive job system, so it's hard to keep track of which games have what.
Fair enough.
but I like the Beastmaster. Beastmaster is probably a class that most people think is more of a gimmick than actually useful, so I like there's actually a decently important fight that you can use Beastmaster to win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't often train Beastmaster, and I definitely don't really like the catch mechanic.
Holy shit, the 12 legendary weapons! They're here!
But yeah, like... I usually sleep on it, but Control at the very least is extremely good. Also, the sheep outfit is very good too. So, unfortunately we cannot do anything about this now, but here are the 12 legendary weapons of Galuf's world. We can just get introduced to them at the very least. We've got some very ominous music in the room, too. But, yeah, this is a preview of stuff we will be getting later on. Don't exactly know how to unseal them, but, like, they're 12 weapons and they're here. They wouldn't just be showing stuff off to us if we couldn't get them, right? Surely they wouldn't just taunt us with Excalibur, right? Assassin's Dagger. I feel like the right side of the room is just all of the weapons that I know full well I'm going for. These are the ones I'm just drooling over. Holy Lance, oh good axe. Alright, and as always, the Masamune. Gotta have that katana. And Yoichi's bow. Alright, so those are the 12 legendary weapons. They're just here to taunt you right now. Can't even get a taste of them, even though I killed the shit out of not just one shield dragon, but I did cut there. There was a second shield dragon. I also killed that guy too. Much the same way, you don't need to see that fight as well. It played out the same, but you know. You also might have noticed, I did edits there because technically that was supposed to be, the end of part 17 before. But then I decided, no, there's not a lot of meat to that one. We're gonna keep going. We're going to poison the inhabitants of yet another swamp. But yeah, no, I do appreciate that if you're able to kill a shield dragon, they at least let you see the pretty endgame weapons that you know you want. Alright, and I hit you with the fire that makes you betray your friends. Thanks, Mysidian Rabbit. And that guy just punched himself in the face 10 times until he died. And then we sank this man to the bottom of the bog! Tell the horse from Neverending Story I said hi. Alright, so we're gonna head off this way. And what might look like an ordinary forest is actually home to... this guy. Hello. Goodbye, Kupo. So, by now you probably know what that is. And I mean, Galuf knows what that is. Because they're inhabitants of his world. But that's a Moogle. That is the first time a Moogle appeared in the series. Chocobos had been around since 2. Though, you probably wouldn't really know about Chocobos until 3 if you're in Japan, or 4 elsewhere in the world. Because they were super well hidden in the original too, and oh no, Moogle Eaters! Oh no! It might be too late for our new friends.
I do love that there's just a monster called Moogle Eater.
Also, I must have forgotten that I got Sloga already, because I only slowed one person. I mean, obviously, Sloga's more expensive than a single slow, but still. And it wasn't really necessary anyway. Alright, so we are now in a waterway, which means once we enter the water, we are at the whims of the tide. So, wherever you are swept, you kinda just have to move along. And of course, that also means you are going to be hit by random battles while you're washing from one platform to another. Kill back, well, didn't kill him, crushed him with a stalactite. Yeah, take that. Bet you didn't like that squirrel.
If you look at the bottom of your computer monitor, you might notice a tiny squirrel has crawled out of it. That was the only effect of that move.
Ah, damn it, it was the ring squirrel. We're all gonna die in 7 days, sorry, my bad. Comet can be a little bit of a drain on MP, but like... what else am I gonna do, other than just hit guys with comets? Also, you know, now that I think about it, I've kind of just inadvertently created the, Dancer class from 6 with Galuf, because, technically speaking, the way Dance works in 6 is closer to, the way Gaia works in this game, where it is a bunch of abilities that proc depending on the area you're in, so depending on what battle background you're looking at, you will have a different set of moves. Now that's not exactly how Dance works, there's like an extra gimmick to it in that game as well, but yeah, no, for the most part, I've kind of just accidentally, oh god, that's a lot of blood slime. I've just accidentally created 6's version of Dance. Alright, well, you guys are super weak to magic. If I remember correctly, you're not weak to physical. And I always parse that enemy as kinda like floating, but no, they are susceptible to ground attacks. Which is good because Titan was very powerful.
I love the sprite they use for when you're being shoved around by the water.
Oh, gee, so many random battles. Jeez. Be careful, Mr. Moogle. It's Mr. Bones, he has a wild ride for you. Bring it on, skeleton.
Oh.
Alright, so here's Tyrannosaur. So yeah, big old dinosaur skeleton. Missed completely, not a good opening attack, my dude. Alright, so, of course, this being a big bone dragon, it should be fairly obvious that this guy is undead, so if you want to heal him to death, then you can. In fact, we did just receive a Phoenix down. If you don't think you're gonna be dying a lot soon, you can actually just grab that and use it on the boss, which is kind of fun. If you don't mind using up a resource, you can just kind of dunk on this guy, even more than I'm already going to. Tyrannosaur really isn't that hard. He hits okay, and I am running a little low on MP. I have been using a lot, and we haven't really gotten the chance to heal that, so unless I stop to chug a few elixirs, then, you know, or ethers rather, then I'm just gonna be kind of low. That's how it works.
I do like
Kill them with a stalactite.
I do like that this cave has creatures called Moogle eaters in them. You're trying to save a Moogle, and then at the end the Moogle is being attacked by the bones of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And not like a big Moogle eater or something.
I mean, look, Moogles know to avoid the Moogle eaters. It's in the name. But a fucking dinosaur? Ah, can't deal with that. Was not expecting that. Alright, and so thanks to Lena, noted friend of all small furry animals, and also large dragons. The Moogle likes us, he'll help us. And in fact, he's going to point out how this works without words. He's gonna say, no, do not step on the sand. Grassland, however, that's where you want to be. It is entirely possible to miss that that's what the Moogle's trying to tell you. I was a kid when I played this, or, you know, young teen. Whenever I played this, I was dumb. I might not have picked up on that immediately.
If only they gave him a nodding sprite animation. So he...
Now, that being said, I want to be direct, so I am actually going to step on the sands. This isn't instant death or anything, and in fact, the cactus enemies here are not why you want to avoid the sand. They're actually pretty easy.
Sands are home to the Moogle Eater too.
The sequel. Alright, so yeah, that's easy enough. That might trick you into thinking that the desert is fine to cross. However, you might in fact run into... Sandcrawler. Alright, so Sandcrawler is a far bigger threat, so let's slow him down immediately. So, its main thing, of course, is, it has a lot of HP like most tough enemies are wont to, so, much like the Shield Dragon, if you don't have a specific plan in mind, then he'll probably kill you. His other thing is this. He uses Maelstrom, which just sets everybody to low HP. So this guy is a bit of an MP drain, cause now I have to heal myself, and his weakness, of course, is Aqua Breath, as is the case for many, if not all, desert enemies.
So, back to the Moogle. I generally prefer it when the Moogles are like talking creatures instead of what they're doing with this Moogle.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first game, so they're like, okay, we need a cute mascot. Here you go, cute mascot. But yeah, given one of your bigger areas of knowledge on Moogles would be Final Fantasy IX, I can absolutely see that, because the Moogles in that game have a lot of personality.
Plus, you get Final Fantasy Tactics, where they're one of the few races that can use a gun.
I did not remember Moogles being playable in Final Fantasy Tactics, because I've not really played much Tactics.
It might be only in Tactics Advance, or Tactics Advance 2, but I know you can use Moogles, and I know they're one of the races that gets access to the gun-having classes.
Gunhaver, you actually have a gun! Kupo!
Also in Tactics A2, which is the one that's the Final Fantasy Tactics game I played the most, don't judge me. The Moogles can also become Chocobo Knights, so you can just grab a Chocobo you're fighting, and then permanently add it to your crew by giving it as a mount to a Moogle, and it's great.
That whips ass. That's so good. But yeah. I feel like they actually talk less than... or they don't talk more than they do talk. Or like when they do talk, it's not very frequent. 9 is kind of just like the main example.
I didn't realize that. My other main experience with them is Kingdom Hearts. And they talk in that.
Yeah, they do talk, but I don't feel like they have as much to say as in 9.
Yeah, they're not characters,
They're just-
but you never... They're not like this. They're not like animals/toddlers. Where, like, they can clearly communicate, but they just don't seem capable of a language.
Well, maybe we just don't speak Moogle. Oh, dang. We can have all these treasures. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Sorry I ignored your advice about the desert, but the thing in there that kills the shit out of me didn't, and quite frankly I got a lot of APP out of that. Anyway, we got the Dancing Dagger, which is a fun weapon that actually replicates the effect of dance, so anybody can use that thing.
Anyone can do it. Anyone can dance.
Darn, it's locked. But yeah, as always, be careful against undead if you use that thing. But other than that, potential swords dance. Anyway, for some reason the Moogles have a Moogle costume. I don't know why. Sometimes Moogles just dress up as themselves. This is my Moogle Sona, Kupo. But you are a Moogle. Yeah? And? Oh, another elven mantle? Oh, you shouldn't have.
I mean, the weird thing is that it's apparently realistic enough to fool other Moogles. Like, humans have full-body human costumes. There are silly mascot costumes that are humans.
But yeah, like, imagine if all humans looked the same, but then we still just had a costume that just looked like humans again, for humans. But bigger, so bigger people can fit into it.
I was gonna ask, like, does that imply the Moogles are man-sized in this continuity?
I'm just going to say that Galuf was crouching, which probably isn't great for his bones, but like, I do not want to see standing at full height Moogles.
Because, like, sprites aren't a standardized height in games like this. Like, Krill is not the same size as this adult's guard. But if you get a Moogle costume that is exactly Moogle shaped and you can wear it, that implies that Moogles are human size in their first appearance.
The other wild thing about Moogles that is definitely canon without having to think about weird ramifications, they can just communicate telepathically. So yeah, a Moogle from Moogle Village called a Moogle that lives with Krill, and now I guess they're just signaling for a landing. Here they go. So here's a different dragon. It's not Hyrule, unfortunately.
This is Byrie.
Where is the Moogle's forest anyway? At the nose, what does that mean? Well, as it turns out, if you turn on your Moogle vision, you see the forest for what it truly is. I guess it's supposed to just kind of be a big Moogle face? I have never been able to parse that one, honestly. You're coming in hot, Kupo!
Also, Moogles being telepathic here is funny because isn't, like, their main presence in 9 to be, like, a Moogle Pony Express?
Yeah. They need a mail system.
Yeah, they need a mail system. They can still communicate telepathically, it's just some people prefer communicating via letter.
Just has a whole lot more meaning, you know?
More emotional, more sentimental value.
Shows you put in the effort.
Then you get that one guy that sends the letter and then just can't be patient enough for the letter to get delivered, so he sends the telepathic message anyways, before the letter could possibly get there.
Ugh, Moogle Greg. Every time with this, come on. One or the other. Don't do both.
So yeah, the eyes are on either side of the nose, and then it's the outline of the face with the ears on top. It took me a second, but yeah, I could see it.